Someone commits suicide. Your mother-in-law's father commits suicide. A friend's son commits suicide. The first thing is to go off the rails, right? How do I control this? This energy has entered my space. And of course, you go to your husband, you go to your boys, and you feel out of control. The first way to gain control again, we don't have full control, but we have wisdom, is to go to the archetype. So suicide is magician. The archetype of the magician in astrology is Pluto. So we would identify what Pluto represents in the heavens in terms of a god. It's Shiva, destruction, right? So first we have to start making a name or a relationship between what enters and identify the archetype. That's how we can start to name it and feel that we're not out of control. Someone commits suicide. Your mother-in-law's father commits suicide. A friend's son commits suicide. The first thing is to go off the rails, right? How do I control this? This energy has entered my space. And of course, you go to your husband, you go to your boys, and you feel out of control. The first way to gain control again, we don't have full control, but we have wisdom, is to go to the archetype. So suicide is magician. First, let's constellate what's going on. When something enters of that magnitude, it carries a lot of energy. It's hitting you for you to look at something, turn your head, figure it out, ask questions, have this conversation, right? So the moment that you can identify one of the 12 archetypes, you already can go, oh, I can hold this. An archetype is a form. It's a cup. It's a chalice. It's a vessel. Oh, this is something I can manage. I can touch with my senses, right? The minute you can constellate it into a container, into a field, you can start to become friendly with it. So naming the archetype is extremely important. If you don't know, you'll eventually learn more. You're reading, you're studying. You can link it to a chakra. You can link it to a planet. You can link it to a tarot card. Just link it to something that you're studying, some symbolic system, so that you can start to make friends with it. A totem, it doesn't matter, something. So you've got your tarot, that's your card. Now let's just do a little tarot education for a second. The magician card is the first card of the tarot of every deck. Doesn't matter what it looks like, everybody's different, the artist. It's going to have a few things in common. The magician must have all 4 elements present. Coin, earth. Chalice, water. Wand, fire. Sword, air. It's all there. The moment all 4 elements are present, you can do some alchemy. All that this is alchemy. The magician is about alchemy. Suicide is about alchemy. A person doesn't die. What leaves them animated doesn't die. What dies is their state. They went from a physical state to an ethereal state, from a physical materialized state to a lighter, less dense state. So if you can start identifying when we get out of the emotion, right? Oh my God, my husband, my kids, it's all men. Of course, you have to remove yourself first. You can start to realize, oh, what this person did was simply change states of consciousness. They went from a dense earthly state to a more liberated state without the body. Why is suicide any different than moksha, liberation? Because we have a personal attachment to it. We physically lose something. It has a negative connotation religiously. It impacts the family because everyone's sad and sudden. No one was expecting it, right? This is what we're in touch with. But really, all it is a state of alchemy. We're taking the elements, the 4 elements, and we're making them in a different form to produce something else. So the invitation is to alchemize, transform, transmute your current state of being, you, who this is entering your life, into a higher state of being, which is just consciousness. That's ultimately all that the magician is. There are many ways to do it. Killing yourself, getting into accidents, having sex, right? That's a way of, one of the words is sex. You're a virgin, you lose your virginity, you just alchemize, you went from maiden to mother, right? So anything that takes you to the next step, don't judge what that is a magician. There's alchemy involved. It's not always transmuting and transformation at a high, good level, but there's always a change. When we go to puberty, that's the magician, right? We change from one state to another. Elderly, one state to another.